You don't need to be a botanist or a developer to save your garden. You just need to know how to build an AI agent. I just built an Agentic Plant Doctor app that thinks, reasons, and diagnoses in real time. I'll be showing you the exact workflow to turn a rough sketch into a live agentic app. Stick around to the end because I'm fixing a critical React error that is currently breaking almost every AI project. Let's get to it. And now, guess what? Our app contains agentic features. With the evolution of technology and artificial intelligence, having an app with agentic features is a much valuable point or a game changer. It skyrockets the functionalities, features, and abilities of your app from 0 to 100. So, the agentic features. Before going into the agentic feature details, let's look at the meaning of an agentic system or an agentic feature. So, what really is an agentic system? An agentic system is one that can perceive its environment, read about it to make a decision, and then take an action to achieve a specific goal. The Plant Health Detector app fits this definition because perception. The app perceives the environment by receiving the image captured by the device camera. Reasoning. The AI model analyzes the visual data from the image to identify signs of disease, nutrient deficiency, or other health issues. This is the reasoning or decision-making part of the process. Next, we have action. So based on its analysis, the app provides a specific and informed diagnosis or feedback to the user. This is the action taken to achieve its goal of detecting plant health. So the app is more than just a simple tool. It autonomously processes information and provides a reasoned output to fulfill its purpose, which is the core characteristics of an agentic system. Agentic Workflow. So the Agentic Workflow is about the various steps and procedures the agent follows in order to come up with a resolution. So Agentic Workflow is basically what goes on in the background before you have a proper feedback from the agent. The Agentic Workflow includes main points like role, task, input, output, constraints, capabilities, and reminders. At this point, we'll make use of Gemini to come up with our agentic workflow, and from there, we'll understand the purpose of the role, task, input, constraints, capabilities, and reminders in relation to our particular app. Here, we make use of Google's Gemini. I've reached out to Gemini to give it some context about the kind of app we are about to build. From there, it can proceed to provide us with an agentic workflow for our particular app. I just basically tell Gemini about the app we are about to build and the various features so it can understand and get some perspective. So it can channel this perspective into generating a workflow for us to provide to Firebase when creating our app. I just basically let Gemini know our app name, my Plant Doctor app. This is a plant care app with diagnostic twists. Instead of scheduling watering reminders, the app acts as a simple doctor, in quote, just like we had already discussed. So at this point, I'll provide the tips for Gemini to then provide us with a concise workflow. After giving Gemini some perspective of the kind of application we are about to build, I then go straight forward to request for an agentic workflow. I tell Gemini, taking consideration of the app I am about to build, provide details to these points for an agentic workflow which I can implement in Firebase Studio. I mention role, task, input, output, constraints, capabilities, and reminders. And now let's see what Gemini comes up with. Gemini has provided us with exactly what we requested. So it has provided us with a role. The role here is, the agent's role is that of an AI plant doctor. Its purpose is to act as a diagnostic expert and a helpful guide for users with struggling plants. Task. The primary task of the agent is to diagnose a plant's ailment and provide a specific actionable solution. This involves a multi-step process. Receive and process multimodal input. analyze the plant's condition, formulate a diagnosis, generate a personalized solution. For the input, visual prompt, textual input. Visual prompt is the photo. Output, the diagnosis, solution or instructions and confirmation. The constraint, to ensure the agent is safe, reliable and performs its role effectively, it must operate under these constraints. Now we get to understand the purpose for the constraint. So for the constraint, it includes scope. The agent's knowledge and capabilities are limited to common plant ailments and general care. It should not provide advice on unrelated topics like human health or complex scientific subjects. So these constraints enables our agent not to sway away from the topic and to always stay concise and precise with the feedback it generates. Now, user data. The agent should not store or use any personally identified information from the user's input. Factuality. The agent's responses must be based on a verified knowledge based on plant care. It should not hallucinate or invent diagnoses or solutions. Tools used. The agent is restricted to use the tools you define for it, such as calling the plant symptom database or an image analysis model. Now, capabilities and reminders. Here are the tools and reminders the agent has at its disposal to fulfill its role. Capability, image analysis tool. Capability, Firestore knowledge base. Reminder, security rules. For reminder, still data privacy, and still under reminder, simplicity. Here we can get a scope of the workflow that Google Firebase Studio will be working on. Before proceeding to building an app with agentic features, it is very important to take note of this agentic workflow. It helps the agent and also acts as a guide for the agent to provide you with the necessary and quality feedback, because it simply follows the example which says trash in, trash out, or quality in, quality out. So if you train your agent based on trashy kind of information or trashy kind of workflow, it will also in turn provide you trashy output. And if you provide it quality workflow and essential details needed, it will as well provide you with quality output. Now, with no further ado, we'll proceed to building our application. We'll visit Firebase Studio, and at the top right, we click on Get Started. It takes us to the prototyping agent, so we can start telling it the kind of application we are about to build. Here, we'll go straight away to tell the prototyping tool what we intend to build. We'll start small and scale up from there. First, I input a mobile app with a landing page, sign in or sign up feature. After user authentication, users can take a photo of a plant leaf and get a diagnosis of its health. We start from there so it can understand. We will begin with a sign up for a user to get into an account or into their account, and from their account they can continue using the features of the application. This makes it possible for multiple users to be on this platform and sort out whatever issue they have with their plants, and they can keep a history of what is going on. We proceed with prototype with AI. After brainstorming, it provides us with a sample name for this application. But here, I'll change the name and provide it the name we intended to use, which is My Plant Doctor. And here we can see more details about what it intends to build from here on. A landing page, user authentication, image upload, AI-powered diagnosis report. And now this is about the styling. Color it will use for the primary color, background, accent, and all the necessary stuff for the user interface. And here we can click save for it to proceed with the next step. So after checking, the name has been updated and we can proceed with prototyping our application. So I'll click prototype this app and we wait while it works its magic. And here we go, we have a landing page. And Gemini requires us to have a Gemini API key, and it is easy to get this. We just click on auto generate, and remember your API key is to be kept private because anyone having access to this API key will have access to do some manipulations in your Gemini system or in your application, for example. So we proceed to auto-generate our API key. So this gives us the access or gateway to use Gemini and its related features in our application. For some reason, at this time, Gemini is unable to auto-generate a key, but we can follow the link provided to manually generate our API key. Here, we just click on Create API Key once we follow the link provided in our prototyping tool. Now we have to select a project. After getting the API key for your app, you simply copy and paste, and Gemini will confirm the API key as it shows in the status check here, updated Gemini API key. It further says the first iteration of your app prototype is ready. Try it out in the preview window and describe the changes you would like to make below. Want to make changes directly? Hit the code button at the top to switch to code editor. So here is the code button. It means if you are good with coding and you can do it manually rather than vibe coding or using textual prompts, you can switch to code mode. Here we'll proceed with using textual prompts. So we can start testing out the features presented by the prototyping agent, and we can proceed from there. At the top left, we have a small icon for our app and the name of our app, My Plans Doctor. At the top right, we have the sign in or get started option, and we have a short banner here. Your personal plans health expert. Snap a photo of your plant's leaf and our AI will diagnose its health, providing you with expert care tips. Next, we have a health check in 3 simple steps. This is about how it works. Keeping your plants healthy has never been easier, so these are the 3 steps. Snap a leaf. 2. Get AI diagnosis. 3. Receive care plan. And we have a footer right here. And of course, terms of service and privacy. So we begin from the top and start testing out the features. We'll start with the sign-in option. It shows here the agent is doing some work in the background based on the command we have just taken on the user interface. So it pops up with a form for a new user to be created or to sign in if you already have an account. We will proceed to signing in. My username will be Alien Tech. I'll proceed to fill in the next fields and I'll click Create Account. We have successfully created our account and we are logged in. And here, it already gives us an example of how we can manipulate our account. So we have the option to check out settings or to log out from this account. While here, we have the feature to straight up upload an image to proceed. And here it already shows us it is facing some issues. So let's check what is going on. The console error here is straightforward. ReactDOM, the DOM here is Document Object Model. So it says the form state has been renamed to React.this and please update diagnosis flow to React.useActionState. Since we are using the application for the first time, as we make progress trying to use the features, it auto-adjusts itself and tells us what to do next. We can start by clicking Fix Error. Okay, so here our error is gone. Next, before we proceed, we can check out our application in a full web browser, not only in the editor view. This is how our app looks in a proper web browser. We will just go straight to using the application and see what we get. I'll click to upload photo. I'll upload this image of a leaf plant with some deficiencies that can be noticeable looking at the plant with human eyes, and we'll see how the application interacts with this photo. I've chosen the option to select from my gallery and I've uploaded the plants. Now I'll click on Diagnose Plants and see if this feature is fully functional or we have to do some more tweaks to the application. So I'll click Diagnose Plant. It shows us an unexpected error occurred during diagnosis. Please try again. we'll go back to our prototyping agent and let it know this is the issue we have faced and you should start figuring it out. Coming to our prototyping agent, we have the option to either send just plain text or we can include an attachment. So an attachment can be an image or a drawing like a sketch trying to indicate what you need to be done, and the prototyping agent can understand all of this and make the necessary adjustments as prescribed. I'll quickly upload a screenshot of the error message we saw earlier and let it figure it out. Here I'm telling the prototyping agent, after uploading a plant image and click diagnose plants, I got this error message. It gives us some feedback about what it thinks is the error and we can retry again. So it says, I've removed the mock logic and connected the real AI diagnosis result. I also improved the state handling in the diagnosis flow component to make it more robust. This should fix the error and allow the diagnosis to complete successfully. Talking about diagnosis flow is in relation to how the agent in the background functions. So even though we have our guide about what it has to do, that is taking consideration of the role, task, input, output constraints and capabilities, we will let it first go ahead and create something so that from there we can proceed to fine-tune it with our own details. Let's go again and retry the app and see how it performs this time. Now we open our app in the browser again and re-upload our image. Our image is uploaded, we click diagnose plant. Still, we got another error and we'll troubleshoot it the same way as the previous error. So I'll go ahead and do that. Also, it has made some adjustment and is giving some assurance. I've streamlined the AI workflow to directly diagnose the plant leaf from the image. This should resolve the server error. Please upload the image again. At this point, I'll just go straight to give it our prescribed workflow. I'll just copy and paste the text we got from Gemini about how to implement our workflow, that is taking consideration of the role and the rest. It is pretty cumbersome, but I hope the agent should be able to find its way through. It gives us a response that excellent, this is a great detailed plan for the AI plans doctor. I'll implement these changes to create a more comprehensive and helpful diagnostic experience. This will involve updating the AI workflow, modifying the user interface, adjusting the server action to pass this new symptom data to the updated AI flow. Here you can see the plus numbers in green and the negative numbers in red. Positive numbers in green means these are code additions it is making to the state of code before we gave it a new prompt, and the negative numbers in red means it is the state of code that it is being deleted after we pass a new prompt. So it has made the update and it is restarting the app. It has actually updated our user interface. Now, in addition to uploading a photo, we also have the possibility to mention any symptoms from our perspective, so it can add to what it gets from the image. For example, our symptoms we may have noticed could be yellowing leaves, brown spots, wilting, and more, exactly in relation to our workflow we just updated. We'll proceed again to test out the application. From our image here, these leaves actually looks like yellowing leaves with some brown spots and it's actually wilting. So I'll just type in back the exact text. Now I'll submit and let's see what we get. And sweet, it just worked its magic. Before we proceed to add a new plant on our new tab, let's first of all check the response we got here. So when we upload a new image of another plant, we'll compare to see if it is just repeating the same thing or it is actually different and personalized to the particular image we uploaded. Let's read the summary. Based on its analytics, it tries to rate itself and see how confident it is following the criteria it used to come up with this summary. Its confidence shows it is 90% sure the diagnosis and recommendation it has provided is actually accurate. It first of all gives a remarks here that The plant in this image needs care. His diagnostic shows the plant has magnesium deficiency. His recommendation, recommended care plan. Confirm the diagnosis. Observe if the yellowing and browning primarily affect older leaves first, with leaves veins often remaining greener while the tissue between them turns yellow. New growth should appear healthy initially. 2. Apply Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate. Magnesium deficiency can be rapidly corrected by applying Epsom salts. Alright, this is pretty detailed, but it actually sounds reasonable. Let's just check out more of the points it provided. I understand from the view we have here, it might not be the best, but we can make it provide a better user interface. Main thing here is just that we want to see that it works. Next, it says check soil. Magnesium uptake can be hindered by improper soil. Let's check the next part. Balanced fertilizer. Ensure you are using a balanced fertilizer that contains essential micronutrients. 5. Remove severely affected leaves. Prune off any leaf that are severely yellowed or brown and shows no signs of recovery. I'm delighted we made it through vibe coding this amazing Plant Doctor app. Do check out the full course playlist, Vibe Coding with Google Firebase, a complete no-code to advanced AI application development course. Do well to support our efforts with a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!